Channel 2S is brought to you by New Type HQ. Get your kits and supplies at the link in the description below. We're going to be building the Doan's Island Zaku. This is a kit that I kind of initially regretted pre-ordering because I pre-ordered it when I thought it might be kind of a fun thing to build, looked kind of neat, and then in the many months between me pre-ordering this and it actually arriving, I honestly lost a lot of interest in it, and I wasn't really thinking this was something that I actually wanted to build. But then I got it in hand, the box arrived at my doorstep, I opened that box, and I saw how cool the box art looked in this kit, and I decided, you know what? Maybe this will be a fun build after all. So welcome to Channel 2S, everybody. I'm your host, Second Soundwave, and tonight we're building the high-grade Cucuruz Doan's Island Zaku. I actually gotta say, I already mentioned it, but I do really like the way the box on this kit looks. I've never built one of these, I guess, like theatrical release type kits where you do like the vertical box art with like the poster for the movie on it. So this is my first time seeing this type of box in hand, and it does a really good job of selling the kit. This is also my first kit that I've ordered, I'm realizing now, that has the new Bandai Namco logo on it, and honestly, on a box design that's already as atypical as this one, it doesn't really look that out of place. This is a very funky looking Zaku. Now, I was hoping they'd be doing a lot more with this kit as far as adding like new tooling and really cool engineering to it. I looked at some galleries of this on like Schizophonic and the like, and it seems like it's going to be kind of less the case than I thought it would be. I was hoping that there'd be like gray kind of inner frame pieces under the armor and there'd be like some cool layering effects. It does not have any of that at all. There is no exposed gray underneath any of these damage areas. It's all just green plastic. So what I was thinking of doing is we build this kit up tonight. We build the whole thing up tonight. And then after the whole autumn hobby next phase project event is over, I'm thinking we do a painting stream because I want to make this guy look like he actually does on the box. Maybe even a little bit cooler. In fact, actually, you know what? I should probably say that because I just realized it might not be obvious to those of you that don't know. This was a premium Bandai kit. It looks like one of those like theatrical like event release kits, but no, this was actually released through the premium Bandai web shop. And I know we often rag on P Bandai for having kits released that way that really should have been released at retail, but I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Not only can I have never see this being at retail, there is no disappointment whatsoever that this is P Bandai. This is the exact kind of weird, barely anyone cares crap that P Bandai should be all about. These just look like standard Zaku parts. I've built a lot of Origin Zakus, so I've become very good at identifying what runners are from them and which ones aren't. This is our first runner of new parts here. You can see that the front skirt here just has a little damaged cutaway where you can see the sculpting of the frame underneath, but you can't, there's no like layering going on with like green parts on top of gray parts. Oh, hello. Finally, something actually premium about this kit. With all the low effort crap they did with this kit, for some reason, they decided that this guy deserves water slides. And like, I'm not complaining at all, like that's cool, but it's interesting that this kit that is otherwise so incredibly low effort got water slides. Of all the models they could have given it to, they used them here. That's just such an interesting choice. This is probably the most color correcting stickers I've seen on an Origin kit. And the weird thing about these is that even though they're color correcting stickers, they're printed on that like that kind of clear plasticky material they use for the marking symbols, so I don't know how that's gonna go. We'll have to wait and see. This isn't like a Doan's Island thing, this is just a regular Origin Zaku thing, but I really like that the chest can actually be collapsed in slightly to get a little bit of forward shoulder movement. That's a really cool little bit of articulation. The thing I don't like about these pipes is that no matter how you build the kit, no matter how carefully you do it, these little pieces of plastic here, these have to bend, and they end up being held in that bent position. And the problem with that is that there's a lot of stress on this one tiny little bit of plastic on the side of the pipe here. And I have had one of my Origin Zaku kits just outright snap there, and the other one is very, very heavily stress marked. This isn't like a moving part, like this is just on the torso, it doesn't like bend and flex with the articulation or anything, so it's not getting like worn away. It's just that the overall long-term stress of being held like this over a span of, 4 or 5 years will eventually cause this to crack. You could probably mitigate this by putting a little bit of cement in there to maybe help glue it together, but overall I think it's a less than great design and engineering implementation that I think they could improve on future kits. Maybe molding this as a single piece that's already bent to this shape would require a little bit of more elaborate molding since they need to mold a taller piece, but I think it'd be worth it to not have the pipe split down the side. Look at the way those go together. It's like some parts of the hose are still undamaged, but the rest of it's all exposed. Let's take a moment to appreciate how much detail they put into the mono-eye track. Like, look at that. This isn't just your regular, like, smooth gray mono-eye track like the other Origin kits have. There is some serious detail here. I thought the head was not going to be my thing at first, but there's a lot of work they put into making this head look good. Look at how many parts and how much detail there is that goes into this. You've got the black around the back. There's like gaps and cracks in the armor. There's the damaged hoses we already looked at. There's the extra detail inside the mono-eye track, and of course you can still move the eye with the switch on the bottom like the other Origin Zakus could. That is a really detailed head sculpt. Wow, so basically forget about neck articulation, because this guy basically has none. His head can do this, and that's basically it. So it's all in the mono-eye. This guy's not doing any crazy head poses. That hip movement right here, this was so innovative when this kit came out. Outside of the head, the only real differences we have so far is the lack of thrusters in the backpack. There's a couple missing hose segments on the waist hoses, and then one of these front skirts has some battle damage on it. With the way the Origin kit's shoulder shields are molded, the two parts of the shield are already separate pieces. So they could have cast the underside in gray, and then the outer piece could have just had holes cut away in it, and they wouldn't have had to increase the complexity of the build or the model at all, and they would have given us the proper gray inner frame showing through. I think they definitely could have pulled it off. Yeah, this piece is going to need a lot of painting. All those damaged areas are supposed to be gray frame that's exposed. Oh yeah, this is one of the other things that's kind of annoying about the Origin Zakus. Really one of the few things I don't like about them is that the only trigger hand you get with them has the stem at an angle because it's designed for the long rifle, but even though there's lots of other Origin Zakus that don't use the long rifle, they never fixed the trigger hand, so even with kits that just have a regular machine gun, they're always kind of holding it at a weird angle like this. Given how much they're using this mold and how little it would cost to tool a new hand, I kind of wish they would just do it. Oh wow. Look at all those stickers they're expecting you to put in the leg hoses. All those stripes they're pointing to, those are stickers that are supposed to wrap around a tiny little Zaku heat pipe. That is not gonna happen. There's no way these little stickers are staying wrapped around that. Those are going to peel off immediately. The only difference between the old feet and the new feet, I guarantee you're not even going to be able to see it on camera probably, but there's like these little horizontal grooves on the front of the toes on the new feet, and that's literally the only difference. So as far as where the stickers on the left-hand side of this sheet go, the green ones are supposed to go on the top of the toe right here, and then the gray ones wrap around the back of the heel. I do actually like some of the new detailing they added on the Doan's version though. So we got this gray accent here, and then we got some exposed frame here. And while it isn't gray, it is a different shade of green, which I wasn't expecting. So that actually looks pretty good. I might not even paint over this. I might just give it like a black wash to kind of emphasize the details. On this foot, they have used the regular heel part, but you're supposed to cover the entire green piece with a gray sticker. They just want the entire thing covered with a sticker. Yeah, it's not happening. So on this one, outside of the back of the upper thigh here, and these grooves here in the back, it's pretty much a normal Zaku leg. You know, the kneecap's normal. The hose is still stripped to most of the noodle bits, and the front of the foot's a different color. But once I get these on here, I should be pretty much done. You know, he's not that bad. I mean, obviously he's an Origin Zaku, so he would never be bad, but I had moderately low expectations for this, and I think he's actually kind of okay. Oh shit, have I been muted? One of the things that I like to look at with kits like this is not just what parts are newly tooled, but what parts are really noticeably newly tooled. Because when someone looks at a kit like this, they're not going to notice these stupid little lines on the front of his toes. They're going to see like the real noticeable changes to the sculpt. The big differences that I'm noticing to the sculpt here are the exposed panel here, the exposed panel on the back of the leg. You can see a little bit of that here, but that's not really as noticeable. Then you have the different color bicep right here, the damage on the front skirt, And then the new head is the other big one, and the damage on the shield. Yeah, there's other changes made, but that's the stuff you're really gonna see. Now, I do like the sculpting on the head sculpt. I like the extra detail they added to the mono eye track. This is the one place on the body where they actually mold the green sections of the hose out of a separate color, so they actually look correct. Initially, I was going to paint these exposed sections gray because I thought they were supposed to be inner frame, but I'm actually kind of liking how the two-tone green looks now. I think I'll use gray for the underside of the shield, though, just to make sure that you can really see the damage to this part. I do like that he's got these rivets on the kneecap here. One thing I think they could have added that would have been nice would have been a pair of properly closed fists so he could do like actual punching poses. Seeing as this guy has no actual weapons, would have been nice if they gave him some more hand options so he could do those open-handed sort of kung fu fighting poses a little bit better. Now, the biggest con with this kit I would say is probably the giant sheet of crappy stickers. I put none of these on except the mono eye. I'm gonna paint all this stuff. On the bright side though, you do get water slides. The articulation on this is just standard Origin Zaku articulation. I'm not going to go through it again. You guys have seen it before. You know what's up with it. I was not expecting very much from this model, but I think it's exceeded my expectations. I would say this is a pretty cool little kit. We have a little bit of a different setup today. So today I'm going to be doing a little bit of painting and touch-up work and overall just general improvement of the high-grade Doan Zaku. We're going to be painting in some areas. We're going to be giving him a nice panel wash, and we'll be applying the water slide decals and doing some simple little touch-ups to make this guy look a little bit better. Keep this runner handy so I can use it for reference. I'm probably not going to be able to exactly color match it because I am absolutely terrible at doing that sort of thing. Okay, that's like a one-to-one mix right there. Let's stir this up and see what it looks like. That is very light. Time to add some more black. It's very bubbly. I don't know if that's good or bad. Put a bit of this on my brush. That's getting there. That's not a bad gray. I want it to be a little bit lighter now, though. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's better. I'm just going to go for it. So I think I'll start with the leg one, because that's on the back of the leg, so if I screw it up, that's okay. Oh my god, I just realized it's been out of focus the entire time. I hate working with this camera for streams. Hey. That is not that bad. I actually really like how that turned out. So I like the color. I know that I can paint those little details with the brush now. So I'm just gonna let this sit over there and dry, and I'm gonna move on to either the waist or the shoulder next. I'm gonna do the waist next. This one is actually a lot easier than I expected because there's raised edges around the side of the part, and that kind of keeps the paint in place. So even if I'm not being super precise with where I'm putting the paint, it kind of all flows downhill anyways. Look at how much cooler this kit would have looked if they just had a gray part under there for the color separation. But yeah, I'm super happy with how that looks. That is sick. All right, feeling pretty good about this now. If you build this kit, highly, highly, highly recommended you paint the damaged areas. It looks so much better. It's not even a comparison, honestly. This is probably going to end up as what I like to call a Hasbro paint job. Not good enough for Gunpla Builders World Cup, but good enough for a $20 action figure. Or a $30 action figure nowadays. I'm going to use the toothpick for this. There we go. So I can paint that in without getting it everywhere. That looks freaking awesome. Now, I definitely can see some brush marks on it. I think the paint's kind of dried up a little bit as I've been going on, and it's been getting thicker and thicker. But for the most part, I'm really, really happy with how that looks. That is the Doan's Island Zaku we should have gotten. I'm going to start lining this bad boy. Always feels kind of funny doing panel lining because like 95% of what you put on the part, you just end up wiping off anyways. I would say that is pretty darn good. Look at that shoulder shield. And that knee from behind. Man, that looks so much better. This right here is what I was expecting when I pre-ordered this kit. I'm thinking I might put on a model number, and I'm gonna put on a Southern Cross logo. I'm gonna put one on his back skirt first as kind of practice, and then I'm gonna put one on the shield. Oh, perfect. Oh yeah. And this is the fun part. I have like a minute to get this exactly where I want it to be. That is so much better than working with dry transfers. And it looks way better than the sticker type ones. I feel like a wizard manipulating water to do my bidding. This would be such a bitch to line up if these were stickers. Like I never would be able to get these straight. Guys, this is why people complain when master grades don't come with water slides, because they're just so fucking cool to work with. Plenty of time to get them aligned just how you want them. There's no edges when they're dried on. They just look phenomenal. So here we go. That is a cool ass kit. Thanks for watching this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to leave a like. This video was recorded from one of my live streams. I usually try to stream around 4 o'clock in the afternoon till 6 or 7 in the evening Eastern Standard Time. If you want to make sure you don't miss the next stream or any future videos I upload, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. I'd like to also extend a thank you to my patrons for helping make this channel possible, and a special thank you to my Master Grade tier patrons like Yank. If you want to join the Patreon yourself, you will gain access to cool features like full archives of past streams and early access to some new videos. Thanks again for watching, and as always, I'm your host Second Soundwave, and I'll see you next time. Take care, guys.